I got a job here. I got to pull a pulley back on the water pump in an old Dodge van, one of the ones where the engine actually sits in the passenger compartment. Don't have a lot of room to work with, and I can't futz around with trying to get the holes to line up. So I got a little trick I use that helps me keep parts like this. It's like blue tape for parts, and that is to use some contact adhesive or automotive headliner or 3M upholstery adhesive. Any of that works. Make sure you've shaken it real good and give it a little spray. Let it set up and dry. It'll take 5 minutes or so. Really, I found waiting a little longer helps. This is pretty dry here, so I'm going to get ready and put it in place. And you can see down below I have a couple little bolts that aren't the full length. I'm going to use it just really to help clamp it in place, and I'm going to let it sit a few minutes to really hold and make those parts stick together. You can see it tilts right out if I don't have anything holding it. I could give it a little pressure, but I can't really reach in there and give it the right amount of pressure to make that glue stick. So I'm going to use that little bolt. I'll put a couple of them in. That'll cinch it down. I'll leave it for about 5 minutes. I'll come back. And this would be too thick. This is really thin, like paint. So, and I'd paint the part anyway, so it's not, or usually repaint the part. But so I'm gonna let this sit, and once it sets up, then I can reach in with my fan, and I'll do that here in a moment. And you see there's not a lot of room to work with, but once I grab that fan and get it in there, after I get these bolts out, you'll see when I pull the bolts, that pulley stays pretty good right where it's supposed to. If I really need to, I can wiggle it around, and it's early enough in the whole deal where it'll kind of tack right back onto place and stay if I needed it to, if I needed a little, like, reposition it a little bit. But it's just a simple trick. So here grabbing a fan, and I get ready to put it in place. I really don't want those fan bolts backing out, so I've put a little bit of medium strength Loctite on them, and I'm trying to shoot this with one hand, and the camera kind of just propped. But once I got it right in, I cut out a section where all you saw was back of my arm. But once I got in and was through, it tightened right up. Everything was right where it was supposed to be, and it didn't rock back and forth. It made the job a lot easier, which is already a difficult job because you use like the tips of two fingers to get the bolts